Welcome to Classified Captures.
Steve here, and today we've got a wild lineup of clips ranging from evidence of conspiracies you've never heard of to clips of cryptids you never even knew were out there. Ready to have your mind blown? Let's dive in. A man who lives alone in a remote property deep in the woods had a strange encounter that's got people talking. It all started one morning when his dog suddenly started barking like crazy. The dog had locked onto something. Curious and a little bit concerned, the man grabbed his camera and started filming, and that's when things got weird. Behind a wooden building on the property, he spotted something. It looked like a tall, shadowy figure, a little blurry, almost transparent, darting behind the structure and then disappearing straight into the woods. You couldn't make out exactly what it was, but it clearly was not normal. As he kept recording, panning away from the building, the camera caught something else just a few feet away near the trees. Standing there, half hidden by the slope of the land, something was huge. Only its upper body was visible, but it looked like a massive creature just standing still. As soon as the man noticed it, the figure seemed to realize it had been seen, and then it turned and silently slipped away into the forest, vanishing almost like it was never there to begin with. And here's the part that really gives you chills. When he walked into the woods to check it out, he managed to catch a glimpse of another silhouette. Same strange figure, same vanishing act. Now, in some Bigfoot theories, it's said these creatures might have the ability to become invisible or even shift between dimensions. That could explain why we never get to see clear footage, but why are there so many sightings but so little proof? So did this man actually catch a Bigfoot on camera? Our sense of direction is guided by Earth's magnetic poles. We have the North and South poles, and for centuries they've helped us navigate everything from ships to planes to even modern GPS systems. But recently, scientists have noticed that the magnetic poles are shifting. This isn't the first time it's happened, but what's alarming is how fast it's moving and heading towards Siberia. If this continues, it could cause disruptions, though scientists say it probably won't be fatal to life. But it will cause problems. Our navigation systems could become less reliable, animals that rely on Earth's magnetic field for migration like birds, whales, and even bees could become disoriented. Satellites and radio communication may also glitch out due to instability. And while scientists insist this isn't a threat to human survival, spiritual communities believe otherwise. Many who feel deeply connected to the Earth say this shift could disrupt our energy, leading to heightened emotions, confusion, and even aggression. If true, every living thing on the planet could experience a state of disorientation.
Is over here. Look at these. What the f*** is that?
A man was driving through Colorado one evening when he noticed something strange in the sky.
Shit out, the sun is over here.
It was sunset, and while the sky remained relatively bright, something odd appeared on the other side of the horizon. A diverging beam of light. It was bright orange, resembling the sun's rays. It was shining from a point we couldn't see. The sun was already in clear view, indicating that whatever was causing this second glow was not the sun. Some skeptics suggest it could be a large streetlight or artificial source, but the brightness and scale of the phenomenon make that seem unlikely. Others believe it might be a celestial body, possibly an unknown planetary object, or an atmospheric phenomenon we don't fully understand. With no definitive answer, the footage is still up for debate. What could cause such a mysterious second light source in the sky?
Is over here. Look at these. What the f*** is that? Check this shit out. The sun
It's flipped over and it's shaped as a fish now.
A man boating in Florida spotted something strange just floating on the water, and honestly, it's hard to explain. At first glance, it kind of looked like a fish, but not quite. And what really stood out was this glowing outline all around it. It didn't look like any marine animal you'd expect to see out there. It just hovered above the surface, glowing softly. Now, Florida has been buzzing lately with odd sightings like mysterious lights and strange objects in the sky and sea, and this one just adds to the growing list. Some people think this might be yet another UFO, especially with the increasing talk that these unidentified objects aren't just flying, they're submerged. There's been speculation for a while now that some UFOs might actually come from deep beneath the ocean and not space. So if that's true, was this glowing object something?
It's flipped over and it's shaped as a fish now.
A man shared a video with his wife, and the story behind it is seriously unsettling. He'd been contracted to fix the Wi-Fi in someone's home. At the time, he was working alone, no one else was in the house. It was just him, focused on his task, going about his work like any other day. But then, he heard it. At first, it was barely noticeable, a low, almost inaudible whisper. He brushed it off, thinking it was just background noise, but then it happened again. This time, he swore he heard something. It sounded like a voice, a weak, distant voice whispering, "Hello," or maybe "Help." A chill ran down his spine. He was supposed to be alone. Terrified, he pulled out his phone and started recording, trying to capture whatever was happening. Later, he shared the video with his wife, and she was just as unsettled as he was. She decided to post it online, hoping for answers. When the family who owned the house returned, he told them what had happened, and that's when things got even weirder. The owner's daughter admitted that she had also experienced strange things in the house, like shadows moving, unexplained noises, and that eerie feeling of being watched. According to the family, the house was built back in 1954. If something or someone had been lingering there all these years, who or what was trying to make contact?
There's nobody in here.
From what we've seen so far, we know that governments and certain agencies that run the world have secrets they don't want to get out, and they do a pretty good job of hiding them. But every once in a while, someone snoops around and finds something. Most of the time, these people either disappear or are silenced. Now we have a man from Texas who recently bought an abandoned property with plans to renovate it for an Airbnb service. When he arrived with 2 women to clean up the place, they made a shocking discovery. Inside the property, they found stacks of papers stored in old file cabinets, and on them was the stamp of the Secret Service. That alone suggests highly classified information. They began reading through the files, and the man decided to share some of what he found on social media. This has worried a lot of people about his safety, and rightfully so. He even mentioned that some of the documents contained things he couldn't share publicly, which means he's dealing with extremely sensitive information. As if things couldn't get stranger, he also discovered that the property once belonged to a Secret Service agent who worked for President Lyndon B. Johnson. That's high-level top-secret history right there. The man says he'll continue sharing updates of his findings, but not everyone agrees with his decision. Some believe he's putting his life at serious risk by exposing what could be deep government secrets. Do you think he should keep digging or walk away before it's too late?
File cabinets. We're not 100% sure what to make of it yet, but we found some weird things in it, like this Secret Service folder, some government debrief documents, a picture of George and Barbara Bush with a handwritten letter on the back of it, a bunch of different passports, and a whole lot more.
This next footage comes from Afghanistan, where some villagers in a mountain area noticed something strange climbing up the mountain. The figure appeared tall and skinny, moving extremely fast and effortlessly up the steep terrain. It was so unnatural that it became hard to tell if this was even human at all. But what happened next made it even more bizarre. As the figure reached the top of the mountain, it floated up into the sky. In another clip, someone else filmed something similar, except this time the figure appeared to be glowing a bright red. The lack of clarity in the footage makes it hard to determine what exactly this could be. Some believe it might be a drone, while others suggest it could be a UFO or an otherworldly entity. But what do you think it is? We all know how zombie movies go. Some kind of unknown virus spreads, humans get infected, and before you know it, boom, an apocalypse. But could something like that actually happen? I mean, scientists have actually explored the idea of a zombie virus, but is it as dangerous as what we see in the movies? Could there be a real-life fungus or virus out there capable of taking over a host's body, controlling it like a puppet? Should we be keeping an eye out for something like this? Well, here's where things get weird. Someone recently spotted something strange inside a sewer pipe. It was this slimy, mold-like thing. It was brown, wet, and unsettling. But the creepiest part was the tiny thread-like strands that were moving, almost like they were alive, wiggling and twitching. But the real question is, what was it? Just some harmless fungus or something we should be concerned about? Because if nature has already come up with things like brain-controlling parasites and insects, who's to say something similar couldn't affect us? What's the first thing you notice when you look at this rock formation? For me, it was a hand. Not just any hand, but a bizarre, almost lifelike one, with fingers clearly visible, as though reaching out from the stone itself. It's strange, right? The longer you stare, the more surreal it feels, like it's just too perfect to be natural. But the real question is, how did this formation come to be? Could it just be a coincidence that it looks so much like a hand, or is there something more to it? Something about it makes you wonder whether nature has a hand,
Pun intended.
in creating things that seem almost too deliberate to be random. What do you think? A man was driving home late one night when he encountered something truly bizarre in the sky. Suspended in mid-air was a tall, dark figure, its form eerily still against the backdrop of the night. It was as if a cloaked entity was hovering, defying gravity itself. Shocked and frozen in place, the man grabbed his phone and started filming. The figure had no discernible features, just a shadowy presence looming above. Some believe it could be a supernatural entity like a witch, a spirit, or something otherworldly. Others argue that it might be a UFO, cleverly disguised or cloaked in darkness. Skeptics suggest it could be a hoax, perhaps a drone carrying an object to create the illusion of something ominous. But the eerie stillness of the figure, the way it seemed completely unaffected by the wind, made it all the more unsettling. As humans, we communicate with words, sentences, and language. It's how we connect, share ideas, and understand the world around us. We know animals have their unique sounds too, and based on that, we assume they communicate through their own systems and ways of talking to each other. One morning, a woman was on her way to an appointment when she noticed something that made her stop in her tracks. Two cats were in the middle of the sidewalk facing each other. But it wasn't just a casual stare-off, they were moving their mouths as if they were talking to each other. It looked like a little conversation was going on, with the cat seemingly saying something and the other responding in kind. The sight was so adorable that it almost looked like a pair of neighbors having an early morning gossip session. So do animals have their own kind of language that we just don't understand? Maybe we'll never know for sure, but it's cute to imagine.
Okay.
They say that when someone is close to death, they begin to see the other side. There are countless stories of people witnessing strange lights, angels, or even deceased loved ones before they pass. Something similar happened to a young woman's grandmother. Her grandmother was elderly and frail and had been admitted to hospice care. Everyone knew she didn't have much time left. Then, just a few days before she passed, something eerie was captured on the security camera in a hospital room. It was late at night, the room was dimly lit, and she was lying in bed. But then, she started talking. Not to the nurses, not to her family, just to the air. Her hands slowly lifted as if she was trying to grasp something that wasn't there. Then, in a soft whisper, she said, "Okay," followed by what sounded like "Mama." When her family saw the footage, they were stunned but also comforted. You see, years ago she'd lost her own daughter, and in that moment, they truly believed that her child had come to take her home. Though their hearts were heavy with grief, they found peace in the idea that she wasn't leaving alone. Instead, she was stepping into a place where love was already waiting for her.
Okay.
By now, you already know about La Llorona, the crying ghost woman who wanders searching for her drowned kids. People have been telling stories about it for years, but this latest sighting is a little different. A woman was out for a late-night walk when she suddenly heard crying. Not loud, not wailing, just soft, distant sobs. She stopped, looked around, and that's when she saw her. Up ahead, a woman appeared from around a corner and started walking forward. She was dressed in a black top and what looked like white or gray sweatpants. Nothing too unusual, right? But as the witness kept watching, something wasn't right. The woman kept walking step by step down an empty road, and then, just like that, she disappeared. Poof, gone. No turn, no sudden sprint, no hiding spot, just straight up vanished into thin air. Now here's the weird part. We all know La Llorona is usually seen in a long white robe, her wild black hair hanging in messy strands over her face. But this one was in modern clothes pants even. Since when does La Llorona wear sweatpants? So what's the deal here? Did La Llorona finally switch up her fashion, or was this just another lost soul wandering the night? Either way, I'd be getting the hell out of there. This towering formation is known as Devil's Tower, and it stands deep in the heart of Wyoming, quiet and unshaken. No one really knows how long it's been there. From a distance, it looked like a massive stone pillar, as if something ancient and powerful shaped it long ago. Now, while some folks see it as just a geological formation, recently there's been a lot of buzz online with people rethinking what this thing might actually be. One theory that's really caught on is that the Devil's Tower could be a petrified giant or even a massive doorway that once belonged to a creature or being far beyond our understanding. Over the years, strange stone structures like this have been spotted all over the world, and in each case, some believe they're not just rock formations but remnants of ancient giants or massive beings that somehow turned to stone over time. It's tied to the idea of petrification. It's a process where something living becomes stone, whether through some natural phenomenon or maybe even something more supernatural. Sure, it's not just a theory that mainstream science talks about much, but when you look at formations like this, it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is the Devil's Tower just a natural wonder, or could it be the fossilized remains of something colossal? We have a lot of innovative technology these days, from drones, robots, AI, and many more, all coming from China. It seems like China is on a mission to race ahead into a future where technology is everything. And honestly, they might be closer than we think. Take a look at this. It's a futuristic flying vehicle created by a company called eHang, and yes, it flies. It looks like a massive drone, except instead for carrying packages, it carries a person. Just imagine letting this thing lift you into the air. It's kind of crazy, right? Taxis are now flying, though to be fair, this looks more like a flying motorcycle than an actual car, but still, a drone that carries people, that's straight out of sci-fi. But here's a thought. Well, doesn't it seem a little dangerous? Just look at those exposed propellers. One wrong move and, well, let's not think about that. And what about the noises? Motorbikes are already loud enough with their engines roaring down the street.
Love that sound.
Now these things will be buzzing above us like giant houseflies filling the sky. It might be the future, but will it be annoying? I'm not sure where this footage was taken, but what's shown is pretty bizarre. It starts with something strange in the sky, like a weird line cutting through the air. And it's not just any line, it looks like some sort of portal opening up in the sky and connecting to another one across the heavens. Have you ever heard of space laser weapons? Well, they're a thing. It's a military weapon designed to shoot incredible powerful beams of energy or lasers at huge targets in space, or even on Earth. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but these lasers could intercept missiles or even break apart asteroids headed for Earth. It's known as a directed energy weapon, or DEW for short. People don't talk much about it, but there have always been whispers about its existence. So if what's captured on this footage is some kind of space laser in action, the real question is, what could they possibly be aiming at? A missile, a satellite, or is there something else out there in the sky that we don't know about yet? Are we even safe anymore? It feels like with each passing year, our privacy is just easier and easier to access. And now, it seems even the birds might not be what they appear to be. So get this. A man caught a pigeon. Nothing unusual there, right? But when he shined a UV light on its wing, strange patterns lit up. Not markings you'd expect from nature. These looked like codes or imprints, almost like something stamped into the feathers. Naturally, the internet lost it. People started asking if this was a spy pigeon. Some folks even suggested it could be part of some surveillance program. I mean, we've seen weirder things like insect drones and camera-equipped animals. But then, others pointed out that this might actually be a racing pigeon. Racing pigeons are often marked for tracking, and some use UV reactive ink to help identify them during races or at checkpoints. So this could be nothing more than a clever way to track birds during competition. Still, it does make you wonder. With how far tech has come and how small devices are getting, who's to say something like this isn't possible? Back in the day, there was a wave of stories about people claiming to have been abducted by aliens or their livestock disappearing under mysterious circumstances, sometimes even turning up mutilated. While skeptics dismissed these stories as myths, many people truly believed they were real. And that's exactly why this footage has sparked so much debate. It comes from a news broadcast in Argentina. In the clip, a man is standing in front of a field, talking to the camera with nothing unusual at first, but then something strange happens in the background. A beam of light suddenly shapes itself into the ground, and right before everyone's eyes, a cow is lifted into the sky, and just like that, it vanishes. When people saw this, they were stunned. Some insisted that the footage was edited, but others believed this could be actual evidence of an alien abduction on camera. So what do you think? Just another internet trick, or did the UFO take a cow on live TV? Back in 2024, a deep-sea camera captured something strange in the ocean depths. At first glance, everything looks normal. The water is familiar, deep blue, nothing out of the ordinary, just quiet, dark, and still. But then, something swims across the frame, and it's not a fish. Look closely. This thing has a human-like upper body and a fishtail, your classic storybook-style mermaid. People online were divided. Some are absolutely convinced that it's proof mermaids are real. The way it moves and the shape doesn't resemble any known sea creature. Others, of course, are skeptical. They call it a hoax, CGI, or maybe just a trick of the light and shadow. But even marine biologists were caught off guard. None could confidently say what it was. So, is this truly a mermaid caught on camera, or just another deep-sea mystery that'll remain unexplained? Alright, Bigfoot enthusiasts, this one's for you. If you've been waiting for some fresh sightings, buckle up, because this just might be one of the clearest captures we've seen in a while. Two hikers were out near Mount St. Helens when they spotted something unusual moving through the snowy terrain. This happened in February 2025, so yeah, pretty recent. Now, they weren't out there looking for anything weird, just enjoying the mountain views, snapping a few photographs, but that's when they saw it. This massive figure trudging through the woods, and no, this wasn't a person in winter gear. From the images, you can clearly see a large creature with broad shoulders and that iconic dome-shaped head. Its fur was brown and thick, and the way it moved, it didn't look staged or human. Its posture was hunched forward, head slightly bowed, like it was deep in thought, or maybe just doing its own thing, not even caring if it was being watched. The hikers said the creature stood somewhere between 7 to 8 feet tall, didn't make any sudden movements or seem aggressive, just calmly walking by. Luckily, one of them had the reflexes to start snapping pictures, and these aren't your usual blurry, out-of-focus Bigfoot photographs either. These images are surprisingly clear. You can see the shape, the stance, and even the texture of its fur. No wild zooming needed. So, of course, the internet's been split down the middle. Some are calling it one of the best Bigfoot images of the years, while others are saying it's just a guy in a really well-made suit. But let's be honest, we've seen enough hoaxes to spot the bad ones, and this doesn't quite look like a fake. Or does it? In the paranormal community, there's a long-standing theory about reptilian beings. These creatures are said to walk amongst us, hiding in plain sight. Some believe they're shapeshifters, others claim they're part of a powerful hidden society. Now, take a look at this live broadcast footage. A woman is being interviewed, and if you pay close attention to her neck, you'll notice it looks like it's bulging. Some people think it's just a trick of lighting or an odd camera angle, but others are convinced it's a reptilian trait surfacing for a moment. There's a frame where her face briefly resembles the classic reptilian shape people often describe, and it happens in just a split second. Could it be a glitch, or did the camera catch something it wasn't supposed to? For those who don't know, the concept of UFOs has been around for quite a while. Some believe they're even mentioned in the Bible, specifically in the book of Enoch. That ancient text describes strange flying objects and beings from the sky, something that many believe could be early accounts of UFO encounters. And that brings us to this bizarre sighting. A man in Santa Monica was at the beach when he noticed something unusual hovering above the ocean. It was a strange glowing object in the sky, rotating yet staying in one place, almost as if it was watching. The resemblance to the descriptions in the book of Enoch was uncanny, and that's why people have started calling it Enoch UFO. So was this just some kind of drone, or could this really be a UFO? This next piece of footage was shared by a homeowner whose property borders a wooded area. It's pretty common for deer to wander into their yard, so they have a motion-activated camera set up to catch any movement, but this time what they caught was not a deer. Instead of the usual wildlife, the camera picked up something strange, a white, vertical mass just floating silently through the yard. It moved slowly and almost deliberately, but it wasn't shaped like any animal or person. It was more like a column of mist standing upright and gliding across the space. This wasn't a lens flare or reflection. The motion sensor was triggered, which means something physically had to be there. Reflections alone don't set off the sensor. So what was it? Some viewers believe it's a ghost, maybe the spirit of someone who lived near the area. Others say it could be a forest spirit. We got another potential mermaid sighting to dive into.
See what I did there?
This one was captured along the shores of the ocean, and it's stirring up a lot of debate online. In the footage, you can see what looks like a pale human-like figure with a green fishtail. The creature appears to be swimming, then quickly dives under the water and disappears. It's a short clip, but it definitely raises questions. Some people believe this is authentic mermaid evidence, while others aren't convinced. One commenter pointed out that the way the creature moves is too stiff and awkward. A real mermaid would glide much more gracefully, like how marine life naturally moves into water. This left us wondering if someone faked it just to get views, or if it was actually a glimpse of something hiding beneath the waves. Ever heard of Project Stargate? It was a secret program funded by the CIA where people were trained to use psychic abilities to see places without physically being there. These individuals, known as remote viewers, were tasked with spying on military bases, gathering intelligence on the Soviet Union, and in some cases even trying to see into space to locate extraterrestrial life. Sounds like something straight out of Stranger Things, right? Think of 11 and her abilities. That's basically what the government was experimenting with. This project was not just some short-lived experiment. It ran for over 20 years as part of a larger Stargate program. These days, you don't hear much about it, but its records are buried deep in CIA archives. Officially, it's been shut down, but if it was all nonsense and never worked, then why did it go on for so long? Some say it was just a failed attempt at psychic warfare. Others believe there's more to it and that the government knows something they're not telling us. So what do you think? You ever stumble across something in the woods that just shouldn't be there? Something that makes you stop in your tracks and rethink your whole day? Well, that's exactly what happened to a park ranger out in Tennessee. She was just taking a normal walk through a wildlife park with her friend, probably expecting nothing more than birds and trees, when something unusual caught her eye. Right there on the forest floor was a strange metal hatch. Naturally, she went to check it out. When she opened it, she found a glass cover beneath it. She carefully removed the glass, and what she saw underneath was wild. It was the entrance to some kind of underground bunker with the staircase leading down into who knows where, just sitting there, hidden in the middle of the forest. Both the ranger and her friend were stunned, and while they were definitely curious, they weren't about to go crawling into a dark tunnel with no backup. Smart move. Now, if you've been following this channel for a while, you know this isn't the first time something like this has popped up. Mysterious underground structures are showing up all over the place. Some are tucked away, some are right out in the open, and every time people are left with more questions than answers. Most of these are said to be old wartime bunkers or forgotten emergency shelters, but folks in the paranormal community, well, let's just say they're not so sure. Could this be a secret research site, ancient underground facility, or maybe something that was never meant to be found? It's starting to feel like nowhere is truly safe anymore, not even our own kitchens. The very tools we use to cook and think are harmless might be putting our health at serious risk. A recent investigation has uncovered something disturbing. Some cooking utensils are made with harmful chemicals that slowly seep into our food over time. These aren't just any chemicals. The utensils are often coated with materials containing nanoparticles, tiny particles that can be toxic when ingested. Studies suggest they can cause precancerous lesions and with long-term use may even lead to various forms of cancer. The scary part? These utensils look like everyday tools. Nothing about them screams danger. So the next time you're cooking up a meal, you might want to take a closer look at what you're using, because even if the food looks healthy, the invisible stuff doing you harm might be closer than you think.
Come on. Let's go.
I want you. Dada! I'm upstairs. How are you? I say bye. Daddy hanging in the water. Oh, wait. No, you can't. Okay. Bye, Daddy. Bye, honey. I don't know. Okay. Bye, Daddy. I say bye. Daddy.
She's got cups. Okay. Yeah.
Upstairs. Hanging me.
A jacket for her?
Daddy hanging in the water.
Oh, wait.
What?
No, I can't. Okay. Oop, come on, Clarence. I think my mom's got one. Okay.
Bye, Daddy.
That's what I was just about to ask. What did you say, Clarence? What did you say, bud? Did you say bye too?
I say bye. I say bye, Daddy.
Oh, okay. You see, Dad, you around?
Sometimes the most subtle moments can carry the biggest mysteries. This next footage might just leave you with goosebumps, not because it's loud or dramatic, but because of how quietly strange it really is. This clip comes from a home security camera belonging to a single mother. She'd gone out onto the porch and was calling her son to come inside. They were getting ready to leave. A little boy, probably around 3 or 4 years old, runs out to meet her. But right as he steps out, you can hear it, a soft whisper calling out the word honey. What's eerie is that the mother doesn't seem to hear it at all, but the little boy does. You can see as he pauses, turns his head toward the direction the voice comes from, and even begins to walk toward it like someone familiar had spoken to him. But here's the chilling part. The woman shared that she lost her husband just a few months ago, and Honey was the pet name he always used for her. She never heard the voice that day, but her son did. She believes with everything in her that it was her late husband reaching out, maybe even trying to say goodbye or just to let her know that he was still watching over them.
Come on. Let's go.
I want you.
She's got cups and stuff. Yeah.
Dada! I'm just hanging me.
A jacket for her?
Say hanging
I don't.
me. What?
Oh, wait. No,
What?
okay. Ooh, come on, Clarence. I think my mom's got one. Okay.
What, Daddy?
That's what I was just about to ask. What did you say, Clarence? What did you say, bud? Did you say bye too?
I said bye. I said bye, Daddy.
Oh, okay. You see, Dad, you around?
Alien talk never seems to get old, does it? Every time there's a new piece of information, people are quick to jump on it, even if it's something that might or might not be real. This time, we got allegedly leaked footage from a secret facility. What's in the footage? Well, it's disturbing to say the least. You see, a creature about 7 feet tall lying on a hospital bed. It's tied down, and the most noticeable thing is its belly. It looks strangely protruded, almost unnatural. According to the source of the leak, these beings are lactose intolerant, and the reason they ended up in hospital is, well, their diet was so messed up because it caused major problems. Sounds a bit out there, right? As wild as it sounds, there's no way to confirm if any of this is true, but it definitely raises some interesting questions. What if there's more to these creatures than we realize? And why would a secret facility be keeping them under wraps? Something strange and potentially dangerous is unfolding in Thailand right now. Just recently, the country was rocked by a massive earthquake that brought down buildings. And while people are still trying to recover from that chaos, a new and even more unsettling sign has started to appear. Someone captured this footage while at the beach, and at first, it might just look like a calm shoreline, but look closely, something is not right. The water has receded way back, exposing rocks and sand that are usually hidden beneath the waves. For anyone who knows the signs, this is deeply concerning, because this is exactly the kind of thing that happens before a tsunami strikes. It's nature's quiet warning. It's often followed by a wall of water rushing in. People who have just survived the terrifying quake are now facing the very real fear of another natural disaster looming. First, the earth shook, and now the ocean is behaving strangely. So what the hell is going on? A man was out taking a quiet walk through the park when he spotted something strange. Up in the tree line, floating just above the branches, was something that did not belong. At first glance, it looked like some sort of statue, but statues don't float. This object was hovering silently among the trees, and here's the thing. You can't really tell if it's round or square, and its shape seems to shift, almost like it's made of glass or mist. Some say it looks transparent, like you can see through it, but only partly. So what exactly are we looking at here? We've all heard of the Fata Morgana phenomenon, those strange mirages where ships or even whole cities seem to float in the sky like ghosts above the horizon. Most of the time, science explains it as nothing more than a trick of light, but sometimes it looks like something else entirely. Take a look at this video. There's a crack in the sky, and through it you can clearly make out the silhouette of what looks like buildings hidden beneath the clouds. It's eerie, like we're catching a glimpse into another world. If this were just a typical Fata Morgana, we would expect it to reflect something from the ground, but these shapes, they don't match anything nearby, and the way the sky appears split open, almost like a tear in reality, makes it hard to chalk it up to heat or light plane tricks. So if this isn't a mirage, then what are we really looking at? A hidden civilization above us, a portal to another realm, or dare we say it, heaven? This next one is straight out of the woods, and it's giving us some serious chills. A group of hunters had set up game cameras deep in the forest, probably hoping to catch deer or other wildlife moving through the area. But what they ended up capturing was something nobody expected. One of the cameras picked up a strange figure, just the upper torso of what looks kind of like a human, but also not really. The figure appears to be bluish in color, and if you look closely, it's almost transparent, almost like it's phasing in and out. And here's where it gets weirder. If you focus on the chest area, you'll see a small glowing speck of light. The image was put through several filters to enhance the clarity, and once that was done, you can clearly make out a humanoid shape, but definitely not human. So what are we looking at here? Is this some kind of cloaked figure? Some people are already calling it an alien. This next footage was shared by a woman who claims she was attacked by an invisible entity, and it was all caught in her security camera. In the footage, you can see her casually walking through the kitchen, heading toward the table, when something yanks her hair hard. She's violently pulled backward and crashes into the floor. Startled but quick to react, she jumps up and spins around, clearly confused, looking to see if anyone else is in the room. But there's nothing there, no one. According to the woman, this wasn't her first paranormal experience. She says her home has been haunted for a while now, and she's seen shadows, heard strange sounds, and felt an unfamiliar presence. But this was the first time anything had ever physically attacked her. And if you watch closely, behind her is a large mirror. Right at that moment she's pulled, you can spot it. A dark, shadowy figure reflected in the glass. It appears just for a second, standing right behind her, then vanishes the moment the attack is over. So what could it be? Going back to the ocean, prepare to be amazed by this intriguing footage captured by a fisherman off the coast of Krabi, Thailand. This man went fishing when he caught something unlike anything he's ever seen. A spider-like creature, but one with more legs than your average spider. From this footage, we can see the creature is quite large and has legs that look like sticks. The creature itself looks so unreal, like a tree branch. But here's where things get really strange. As the man pokes the creature, it starts moving its arms, proving that it is indeed alive and a genuine mystery of the deep. The footage has left all who saw it weirded out, but what do you think this could be? Tell us in the comments section. Still on strange things, let's dive into something truly perplexing. Feast your eyes on this baffling footage. In this footage, an unknown individual holds a moving creature in their left palm while it exhibits physical bird-like features. The beak area raises several questions. At first glance, the black and white polka-dotted spots around it appear to resemble teeth. But teeth at such a young age? Weird, right? But that's not the only unsettling aspect. Perhaps it's the novelty of encountering a newborn bird outside of its nest that adds to the eerie feeling. But although we're inexperienced when it comes to birds, we're not sure birds should look like that. The uploader mentioned it was a gold-wattled bat, but a quick Google search will prove otherwise. Contrary to what we've uncovered, the appearance doesn't align with that of young gold-wattled bats. So what exactly are we dealing with here? Could it be an extraterrestrial entity, a genetic anomaly, or perhaps an entirely novel species? Well, we can't say. Time will tell, but I have a feeling it won't be pretty. What do you think? This person was driving in the middle of the night when they spotted something on the road. As they approached, they noticed a truly chilling sight. There on the ground was a humanoid creature on all fours. This creature appeared incredibly emaciated and had an extremely pallid complexion. The bony arms were a stark sight, but just when it seemed that's all there was to it, look closer. You'll observe that the creature had this eerie spectral quality. It wasn't exactly visible, but it was almost transparent, like some kind of apparition. The driver, understandably spooked by this discovery, chose not to proceed, but parked at a safe distance to record this inexplicable entity. What are your thoughts on what this might be? Would you stop to film a strange creature in the woods if you saw one? Well, one hunter did, and you won't believe what he captured. Take a look. You see those beady eyes, right? What do you think that creature is? Here's the funny thing, the hunter himself doesn't know and posted it online so the community could help him identify it. If an experienced hunter couldn't identify an animal he was seeing, then surely you know after all my blunders on this channel, well, I wouldn't be the best person to know either. So I throw it to you, the wildlife experts on this channel. What do you think we're dealing with? A real-life creature or something otherworldly? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. We'll be reading. Now, we're no wildlife aficionados, and we won't pretend to be, but this next capture that was sent in by one of our astute viewers who says he's had 30 trail cams up for over 10 years. Despite this feat, he's no idea what the image I'm about to show you is. Have a look. Now, here's where the magic happens. On this very channel, you've astounded us time and again with your uncanny ability to discern and identify the denizens of the wild. Today, we're reaching out to you, our community of experts, to come to the aid of our fellow explorer. Take the reins and enlighten us. What creature do you believe graces this mysterious snapshot? Drop your insights in the comments section, and yes, our fellow enthusiasts will eagerly be poring over your thoughts. If you thought that was weird, take a look at this footage. Do you see it? Somewhere in the trees, there's a dark figure moving. Whatever it is, it realizes that it's being filmed and tries to hide behind the trees. It keeps staring in the direction of those filming until the clip ends. The uploader of the footage believes it's a Bigfoot, and quite frankly, I'm leaning into that explanation as well. Whatever creature it is, it also has fur all over it and is moving with a human-like gait. There's only one creature that's known to have these features, and it's none other than the legendary and elusive Bigfoot. Could this be actual footage of the cryptid, or is this an elaborate hoax to throw us off? Now let's take a break from all the spooky stuff and enjoy these dancing bears. No, they're not actually dancing, there's more to what they're doing. Bears often scratch themselves by rubbing against trees, rocks, or other objects, but these behaviors are not actual dancing in the way humans dance, but rather instinctive or practical actions with specific purposes. They sometimes do this to relieve itching, remove parasites or ticks or fleas, and groom their fur. So in this regard, it's not a dance, but a way for bears to maintain their hygiene and comfort. They also do this to mark their territory and communicate with other bears. This scent marking can serve to establish dominance and communicate their presence to other bears in the area. Looking at these bears, which do you think they're doing? Tell us in the comments section. Have you ever encountered a shadow person? In case you're unfamiliar, their name pretty much says it all. They're human-like shadows moving around without an actual human body in sight. Well, in this particular case, some individuals believe they stumbled upon one in the forest. They were cruising down a path when they spotted some motion in the woods along the trail, leading them to investigate, thinking it might be someone in need of assistance. However, upon reaching the spot, the alleged person was hiding behind a tree. As this figure attempted to peek from behind the tree, what the onlookers saw left them frozen in fear. This supposed person looked human in shape, but it lacked any real flesh or even clothing. It was just a dark, formless mass standing there, leading them to believe it might be a shadow person. What do you think? Still in Thailand, meet the leptocephalids, transparent creatures that seem like they're made of glass. Here's a riddle for you. Think of a sea creature that shares similarities with the leptocephalids. If you guessed eel, you're absolutely right. Leptocephalids are the larvae of eels. These flat, almost extraordinary creatures are slow swimmers and thrive in any water. They feed on plankton, which includes microscopic organisms like small crustacean larvae and other tiny particles in the water. While some species of eels, when they're adults, may consume crustaceans, insects, and smaller fishes, the larvae, leptocephali, primarily rely on plankton for their diet. Despite their invisible power, these creatures still fall prey to fishes like land's fish, tuna, yellowfin, and other species. These creatures have a lifespan of 2 years and are one of the coolest sea creatures I have ever seen. What about you? Next, we have another perplexing footage you should definitely see. Have a look. In broad daylight, this Trailcam captures a glimpse of a black creature as it ventures deeper into the woods. Upon closer examination of it, it bears a resemblance to the legendary Sasquatch, more commonly referred to as Bigfoot. Its black fur and robust and humanoid build are dead giveaways. Aside from its physique, the uploader of the footage mentioned that it was moving quite quickly, as though it didn't want to be seen. I know you might be wondering what if it's just an ape from the region, but this is where things get serious. There are no apes where this footage was recorded, and that could only mean one thing. This is the real deal. Unless, of course, this is an elaborate hoax, which I'm hoping it's not, but what do you think about the whole thing? There are theories that before the human race, there were beings that roamed the earth, some half human and half animal. These beings were later worshipped as gods on earth. So when scientists discovered this mummy locked in a box in a Japanese temple, they were curious to find out what this creature could be. Obviously, they could see that the creature was half human and half fish. But how? Despite probing and researching and asking questions, they can't find any scientific basis for the existence of this creature. This leaves us with questions. Could it be a spiritual being materialized, which is why they can't find anything on it, or are we looking at an elaborate hoax passed down for centuries? Well, no one knows for sure. Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos like this for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. I know what you're thinking. What in the world of bird mysteries is happening here? Is this some kind of funky pigeon mutation or what? Turns out this wild-looking bird goes by the name the Dutch cropper. This flamboyant bird isn't just a looker, it's got some fascinating features. A medium-sized pigeon with an elongated body, a graceful arched neck, and the head held high like it's in a perpetual state of pride. When it's feeling extra fancy or trying to impress its bird buddies, it inflates this special bladder, adding a touch of charm to its already striking appearance, as we can see right under its beak. They're known to be the largest fancy pigeon breed in the Netherlands, and like the royalty of the pigeon world, strutting around with their own built-in regal accessory. This is the kind of bird that adds a touch of glamour to the avian scene. Next, we have this rather odd footage we'd love for you to see as well. We've been scratching our heads over this one, and we're eagerly anticipating your insights or perhaps a collective head-scratching session. Have a look at the image. At first glance, I'm tempted to call it a bear due to its bear-like visage. But hang on, bears aren't typically this diminutive, are they? Interestingly, this snapshot hails from Louisiana, where bears do roam. However, the local bear species tends to be smaller than its grizzly counterparts. Despite their petite stature, I find it hard to believe they're quite this petite. Despite their small sizes, however, I doubt they are this small. I mean, this looks too small to even be a cub. If you've been on the channel for a while, then you know I sort of make mistakes when it comes to recognizing species of the same family. Am I making another mistake, or is there something odd going on here? Please tell me in the comments section, as I'd really love to know. Can trees move? Before you answer, watch this footage. We have fantasies we wish could be our reality, but if we know anything about life, it's that that's not how life works. Yet, right before you in this Trailcam footage is something that looks mythical and magical. The footage unveils a forest adorned with towering trees, adorned in moss, surrounded by lush grass. Yet, the true intrigue lies with the trees right in the center of the footage. In a captivating display, this particular tree responds to some unseen cue, opening and closing to unveil its slightly carved and intricately crafted innermost part. It almost looks as though the tree is moving or breathing. Is this something magical, or is there a logical explanation for it? If there is, could you tell us in the comments section, because we'd like to know. All right, hold up. Are we witnessing the return of medieval shenanigans or what? Forget humans wrestling humans. Apparently, we're going back to the days when folks grappled with bears for kicks. Two beings, one human, one bear, having what seems like the weirdest playdate ever. And get this, they both looked like they were having a blast. It's like a bizarre version of Fight Club, where the first rule is apparently have fun. Now, call me crazy, but I thought we'd moved on from wrestling with bears. Wasn't that a thing in medieval times when boredom levels were off the charts? But here we are in the 21st century with what looks like a bear-human wrestling match for sheer amusement. I guess we've not seen it all yet. Though I don't approve, you have to admit it's impressive that the man was able to hold the weight of the creature as long as he did. Once again, we're faced with a spectacle that leaves us questioning Mother Nature. A boat that set sail to catch fish came across a mysterious passenger. This invited passenger came disguised as a catfish, but when one of the men aboard went poking at it, this so-called catfish, instead of fins, had crab claws. Realizing this is not a typical member of the ocean dwellers, the man decided to push the fish back into the water. But it looked like it actually enjoyed being out of the water and wanted to teach the man a lesson or two before going back. Now the question is, what type of fish are we dealing with here? I mean, it's not every day you see a fish with crab claws for fins, so how is this even possible? Unless this is a species on its own or a mudfish and a crab interbred, I don't know what the logical explanation for this could be. Do you? And what better way to end today's compilation than with eerie ghost footage? Enjoy. Did you see it? A transparent or translucent being moves through the room around the area of the stairs. The uploader of the footage reiterates how the footage scared her and how she was still recovering from it. Now you tell me, what would you have done in her shoes? As you think about it, here's a quick one. While the land has seen its fair share of peculiar sightings, the world beneath the waves holds a treasure trove of mysteries waiting to be unveiled. Every day, new and bewildering creatures are captured on camera, adding to the enigma of our planet. With a mere 5% of the ocean's vast expanse explored by humanity, we've already encountered a plethora of bizarre and inexplicable marine life. Allow us to introduce you to the Archosargus probaticephalus, commonly referred to as the sheep's head fish. Its remarkable feature, a head that uncannily echoes human facial features. In a departure from the minuscule and razor-sharp teeth of its aquatic counterparts, the sheep's head fish showcases an astonishing trait. Its mouth is adorned with teeth reminiscent of those found in humans. Notably, two upper front teeth jut out prominently. As for its culinary potential, I can't say for certain, but I must admit the thought of finding my own face staring back at me from a plate isn't exactly appetizing. While not of paranormal origin, the fish's appearance remains undeniably eerie and disconcerting. Or am I being too critical of a fish? Either way, have you seen any of these fish in person? What was the experience like? Now let's step back into the year 2022 and show a capture from that year. What does that look like? Like a man stealthily crouching and moving, right? Many who saw the footage, however, believed we are dealing with a Bigfoot, and I can see where they are coming from. But is it really a Bigfoot, though? Can you call that a Bigfoot? Don't get me wrong, I do love myself a big old Bigfoot story and capture, but this is not just giving me Bigfoot. Either way, a part of me wants to believe that could be a man in camouflage gear moving through the woods. Yes, the footage is blurry, but most Bigfoot footage is, and you can tell some are very authentic just by looking at the way the creature is moving. When it comes to this particular one, not so much. It's eerily human-looking, and I just can't get over that fact. So my final verdict, most definitely a man. In this footage, we have a curious friend right here slithering across the Trailcam. This is like nothing we have seen on the channel, and it's exciting, unless of course you have ophidiophobia. If you had it, you know what it meant, so if you don't, then clearly you don't have it. For those who want to know, that's the name for the fear of snakes. Now back to the trail camera. It looks like it was set on a tree that happened to be on the path of our kind friend here. But instead of passing by the camera, this snake here just decided to slither on the device without a care whatsoever. While the owner might not have liked it, we are glad it did, because how else would we get this awesome footage? Still on ginormous creatures, we travel all the way to Japan for our next footage. Before I reveal more, take a look. My initial reaction, what in the world is that abomination? I got my answer once the whole creature was in view. The sight of the numerous tentacles and arms initially gave me quite a scare. However, upon closer inspection, it revealed itself to be none other than a squid. Not your everyday squid though, but instead a giant squid. This footage was captured off the coast of Japan, showcasing an astonishing giant squid measuring at least 2.5 meters in length. Undoubtedly, seafood enthusiasts might find themselves drooling at its mere sight, yet for those unacquainted with such a spectacle, it could be quite an unsettling experience. It evokes memories of the legendary Kraken from myth and echoes its appearances in various films. While its size is undeniably impressive, let's be clear, it's a far cry from the colossal Kraken of ancient myths. But do tell us, will this scare you, or would it simply work up an appetite in you? We'd like to know. Picture this, a tranquil, moonlit evening, a leisurely walk, and then the unthinkable. But why spoil the surprise? Let the footage speak for itself. The footage starts out pretty normal till you realize that the one recording moves the camera to one spot and doesn't move. It's almost as though she's frozen in time, and you start wondering why until you see it. A white being emerges from the shadow, moving in a similar fashion as a gorilla would, and pauses to stare at the one recording. At that moment, the recording ends, leaving you wonder what happened to the recorder. But then again, the person uploading means the person survived the experience. Now, let's tackle the burning question. What on earth, or beyond, did we just witness? As much as I'd revel in the idea of encountering a bona fide paranormal entity, something niggles at my skepticism. The entity's appearance seems eerily computer-rendered, and picture this, a hair-raising woodland encounter with a shadowy being. Trust me, steady hands might be a luxury. My gut leans towards a CGI fabrication, so in my opinion it's fake and simply CGI. But what's yours? Another eerie woodland encounter took place when an individual ventured into the depths of the forest in the dead of night. As they moved forward, they stumbled upon an intriguing sight, a massive creature lurking ahead hunched beneath a tree. The shroud of darkness made it challenging to discern specific features, but a couple of characteristics were noticeable. The creature possessed elongated arms that dangled loosely in front of its body, reminiscent of a primate's. Its shoulders bore a resemblance to those of a primate, though the identity of this enigmatic being remains a mystery. Was this an encounter with a cryptid or something beyond our understanding? Tell us what you think. Before you move on to the next clip, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment in the comments section. It goes a long way to help us produce more videos for you. Thank you very much for doing so. It means a lot. Moving back to today's episode, GoPros are an explorer's best friend for a number of reasons, but one of the main selling points is its durability. But what happens when you find a GoPro in the woods with no owners in sight? This footage you see was captured by a GoPro that was found in the woods by some explorers. Once they tried to play back the last few seconds of its footage to discover what could have happened to its owners, they saw this. Yes, that's a witch-looking being staring at the riders. After the riders see the witch, they try to ride away, and that's exactly when the GoPro footage ends. Try as they may, those who discovered the GoPro could not identify the riders. The funny thing is, no rider has reported a missing GoPro either. Some believe they might have been tourists or something, but if tourists had such an encounter, surely they'd report it. This led them to believe perhaps those captured in the footage didn't make it out alive. Perhaps what we saw here could have been their last moments. What do you think? Possible or too much? If you thought the last Bigfoot footage was up close and personal, watch this one. The footage starts off casually looking like a normal footage till we spot a black figure in the background. It gets all shaky from there, and we can barely see the subject except for a few times the cameraman captured it. Now, here's the twist. Could the cameraman's trembling hands be attributed to genuine fear, rendering the footage raw and unsettling, or might this intentional tremor serve as a clever diversion, masking the truth of its authenticity? My gut nudges me towards skepticism, hinting at a fabrication, but I'm eager to hear your take. Don't hold back, let those keyboards sing in the comments section. Picture this. You're out for a leisurely stroll, and suddenly you spot the fabled Yeti casually doing push-ups on a hill. Sounds absolutely bonkers, doesn't it? But hold on, because we've got the footage to prove it. Not so crazy anymore, is it? This footage was reportedly captured by an adventurer who was exploring one of the remote mountain ranges in one of the cold regions. Curiously, our adventurer friend has opted to keep the location under wraps, citing safety concerns. In case you're not in the know, spotting a regular-sized human on a mountain peak is like trying to find a needle in a haystack, unless, of course, said human is the size of a small house. The being in this footage is very pronounced, which means it must be very large, which takes away any and all possibility of him being human. Interestingly, according to the uploader, this region is rumored to be a Yeti hotspot. Strangely though, tangible evidence has been elusive. He's confident that this footage prevents the most compelling evidence we've seen in quite some time. But why would a Yeti be doing press-ups? Is it trying to get over a breakup, or am I simply overthinking it? Either way, share your thoughts with us. Do you think that this is the real deal, or is someone just messing with us? We'd love to read your comments. Whilst we try to find answers to the previous footage, I believe that the next footage will leave your jaw dropping to the ground. And I mean literally. A person found these strange things floating around his brother's house. They looked like smoke, but they were oddly luminous and in weird shapes. The thing, however, is that they seemed like they were frozen in time, and you and I know that's not how smoke looks or functions. According to him, they suddenly appeared in the house. When you study the footage, there's no justification for something like that existing. The man swears it's not a hoax and certainly not CGI because they don't have the expertise, skills, or money for that. So what do you think we're dealing with here? A taxi driver was parked on the side of the road when something scares him out of his car. Initially, he was making a phone call when he saw something in the rearview mirror moving behind him. Being the only one in the car, he quickly turned to look at what it was, and there he saw his answer, the ghostly face of a child looking back at him. The face was pale and had dark circles around its eyes. Once he saw what he saw, the scared man rushed out of the car. Fortunately, or not, the security camera in the car was on, so it captured the ghostly intruder. When he finally mustered the courage to go back to the vehicle, he reviewed the footage and asked the paranormal experts online for clarity. So what do you think? Now let's journey to the enchanting swamps of southwestern Florida. Behold this captivating footage showcasing the effortless grace of a massive alligator gliding through the water, a truly majestic spectacle. When it comes to modern creatures that resemble the prehistoric lineage of dinosaurs, my hairs stand on end. The alligator captured in this footage is a prime example. If this doesn't give you shivers, I'm not sure what will. Fix your gaze on this scene. The alligator's eyes emit an eerie luminescence, casting an uncanny aura. At first glance, you might even wonder if it's some malevolent entity manifesting in our realm, but rest assured, the reality is far less sinister. This luminosity is attributed to a specialized layer called the tapetum lucidum, situated at the rear of the eyes. This adaptation allows their eyes to reflect light, resulting in this captivating radiance. Beyond the scary eyes, we have the size and weight to worry about. This colossal being tips the scales at around 1,000 pounds. They inhabit both terrestrial and freshwater domains, though they steer clear of salty waters. While they might nibble on the occasional fruit, make no mistake, these predators are born carnivores. On solid ground, their dash is surprisingly sprightly, yet their hefty frame exacts swift exhaustion. In sum, they're a formidable threat in both swampy waters and on terra firma. Whatever you do, avoid them like the plague when you see them. Get too close and, well, you might just become history just like the ancient dinosaurs. Paying close attention to this footage, we see the trees shake and sway back and forth. It's no doubt that there's a powerful force moving through the forest, but what creature could shake the trees this much? The truth is, no one knows, and the individual whose drone was capturing the whole thing refused to move closer to avoid being spotted by whatever it is or angering it. He didn't want to take the chance and end up with regrets, that is, losing his gear or having such a powerful being come after him. What do you think, though? What creature could have exuded such power? What would you have done in this position? Tell us in the comments section. A man captured something strange going on outside his house on his security camera. It all began when he spotted a dark figure standing in the middle of the road opposite his house. This dark figure looks like a person on a black road. As this stranger stood there facing the house, a car light began to reflect, indicating that a car was approaching. Naturally, he expected the strange person to get off the road, but the person just stood there unmoving until something bizarre happened. The car passed right through it, making the homeowner alarmed. However, the dark figure was still in place. Disturbed by what he'd seen, the homeowner came out to see for himself, which he figured was still there. Unfortunately, or rather fortunately, as soon as he steps out, the entity disappears. If it had not been caught on camera, no one would believe him. The Trailcam owner was startled when he came across an image on his device. Not knowing what it was, he posted the image to Facebook, hoping to get the opinion of others. The picture in question is this image that you see on your screen. You can see a dog-like creature standing on its two legs. The creature had a pair of eerily glowing eyes and was staring straight into the camera. Facebook users were left with a flood of theories on what this could be. While others held the notion that it was a dog man, others said this could be a possessed canine, and some truly believed it was a goblin of sorts. So what do you guys also think this is? Continuing our exploration of intriguing little beings, feast your eyes on this upcoming footage. Did you catch that? As the footage begins, the cameraman approaches a tree, their hands trembling visibly. But don't jump to conclusions, it's not Parkinson's at play. Instead, it appears the camera is zoomed in to the absolute maximum. After a few moments, the cameraman's fascination becomes evident. Some black fingers appear on the tree, hiding a body behind them. Despite the cameraman's best attempts, we never see the body. In the last few seconds, however, two glowing eyes hidden within the trees look at him. And so a veil of uncertainty shrouds the scene, leaving us pondering. What manner of creature could this be? Someone in the comments section of the original post states that it's an Ewok. If you've watched Star Wars, you should know what they are, but some commentators more grounded in reality stated it was a raccoon. I'm tempted to lean in with the raccoon hypothesis, but what do you think? Stepping away from the world of amazing giant animals, let's take a step into what many consider the paranormal realm. It starts off like your ordinary trail cam footage of the forest landscape at night. The dead silence of the night, however, makes it clear that we should expect more, and we are not disappointed. From nowhere, a creature of the night emerges, moving on all fours. My initial reaction? A skinwalker, perhaps. But alas, skinwalkers aren't exactly known for their slender frames. TS unsettling movements reveal it's no skinwalker, but rather a contender for something even more unsettling, a possible rake. The skinny long arms and the possibly white and smooth skin make us think that this is the case. But is it really? Well, would like your opinion on this one, so what do you think? While walking by a river, this man noticed something unusual in the water, prompting him to take out his phone to record the scene. As he approached to get a better view, he realized he was looking at a massive crocodile. The reptile lay just below the water's surface, its mouth slightly open, revealing its sharp teeth. However, the creature remained motionless in the water. Crocodiles are known for their strategic hunting tactics. Typically, one might expect such a reptile to lunge at the man from the water, but this particular crocodile remained stationary. Was it sleeping, dead, or simply not hungry at that moment? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Do you believe in rakes? If you answered no, then perhaps you have to skip this clip because you may end up renouncing your disbelief. This creature was spotted in the woods, and it's none other than the rake. This creature, known as the rake, is often described as a pale humanoid being with glowing eyes. The rake is a part of the paranormal lore and cryptid mythology, often depicted as a malevolent entity that terrorizes unsuspecting victims. While there are various stories and alleged sightings, the existence of the rake, like many other cryptids, remains unproven and is largely based on anecdotal accounts and limited evidence. It continues to be a subject of fascination and mystery within the realms of the unexplained. For this footage, I'm tempted to say so much, but perhaps I should let you do the talking on this one. You see the creature swimming, right? Do you have any idea of what creature or animal it could possibly be? Personally, I can't tell, but the uploader of the footage believes it's either a hippo or a mermaid. Yeah, you heard right, a hippo or a mermaid. Now, before you pick one of these two, you should know that the footage was recorded in the ocean. And, well, you're more likely to find and hang out with a mermaid than you are to find a hippo swimming in the ocean. But with that said, I'd like to ask, what do you think that creature was? Speaking of ginormous creatures, have a good look at this next one. Yup, that's an actual wolf, and no, it's not a normal-sized wolf, but a gigantic one. In the footage, the wolf looks like it's roaming the area the footage was taken and having fun. In the initial seconds of the footage, it looks like it's a normal size, but as the one filming gets closer and the wolf draws nigh, it becomes apparent that's no normal wolf. But are there any records of wolves that size? Well, we didn't actually think so, but it turns out there's actually a cryptid known as the saber wolf or wahila that's known to inhabit the northern western part of the United States. And guess where this footage was reportedly taken? Alaska. And yes, it's in the northwestern part of the United States. So do you think we're dealing with the real thing, or could something else be going on here? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. If you do live in Alaska, could you confirm if you have seen these things or at least heard the rumors about them? We'd love to hear from you, even if it's a no. In Atlanta, there's a place that exists to send shivers down your spine. The Doll's Head Trail. This airy trail winds its way through the woods, and it's unlike any other. What makes it so unsettling? Well, it's not the natural beauty of the woods that's disturbing, but the unnerving presence of numerous doll heads scattered all along the path. These are not your typical pristine dolls. No, these are dolls of all shapes and sizes, each bearing the marks of time and decay. Some are dirty, others burnt, and many are disfigured. They've been placed on tree trunks, left on the ground, and arranged in eerie formations. The most chilling part, this unsettling display of doll heads is no accident. It's a man-made creation, and you can't help but feel a sense of unease as you wander through this bizarre and haunting landscape. This next footage was captured by someone who was out exploring caves. Yes, caves. It's not something I would do, but their discoveries often lead to advancements in science and history. But what this man discovered, well, I'm not so sure. Those are actual eyes, and yes, they are staring back. Obviously, the ones who recorded the footage were very scared. But what exactly are they looking at? We can only see its glowing eyes and a small part of its face, yet not enough to actually know what we are dealing with. Members of the paranormal community believe it might be a skinwalker, but I just don't see it. Despite disagreeing, though, I can't seem to associate it with any known cryptid of ours. Perhaps it might be a creature that lives in the cave that has long been forgotten. Do you have any experience with any creature like this? Have you heard any folklore involving cave creatures that you think might be connected? Share them in the comments section alongside your opinions of what we might be dealing with. We'd really like to hear them. There's been quite a buzz surrounding a particular video circling the internet. In this footage, a creature resembling a dog caught the attention of the person behind the camera. As the creature appeared to notice the observer, it seems to head straight in that direction. The video owner claims it's a dog man, but some skeptics argue that it appears more like a person in a costume. As the debate unfolds, opinions diverge on the authenticity of the footage. Is it a genuine encounter with a mysterious creature, perhaps a dogman as suggested, or could it be a scenario involving someone in costume? I think it's the latter. What about you? The mystery of Bigfoot sightings continues, and this trail camera footage adds another piece to the puzzle. In the photo, the creature is captured in motion, revealing its dark fur and a stance that distinguishes it from known animals like bears or gorillas. The fact that it appears humanoid in posture has long been a hallmark of Bigfoot sightings. While the image provides a tantalizing glimpse, the elusive nature of the creature persists. The dark fur and upright posture align with descriptions commonly associated with Bigfoot encounters. However, the lack of a clear facial view or additional details leaves room for further exploration of these elusive beings. As enthusiasts and skeptics alike scrutinize the image, the quest to unravel the mystery of Bigfoot persists, with each sighting contributing to the enduring allure of this enigmatic and mythical being. The rate at which mythical creatures are making an appearance these days is alarming. In this footage, a man filmed two men in yellow protective gear from head to toe coming toward a river. The men were holding a net, but their attire was not something you would wear to a fishing trip unless something fishy was going on. So the person filming hid himself as he watched the men walk into the shallow part of the water to retrieve something. They caught it in the net and brought it to land. As they put the creature down, something curious happened. A long fishtail resembling that of a stereotypical mermaid fell down. Did these men just catch a mermaid? Looking at the color of its tail, I'm tempted to ask, what if the creature and things we saw in The Little Mermaid are not as unreal as we think they are? What if these creatures are actually out there and a danger to us? The woods seem to get more dangerous as the days go by, and even hiking alone has become a problem. I know you would be wondering why I'm saying that. To answer, let's take a look at this next clip. Out in the woods, a hiker found himself lost and trying to navigate his way back when he noticed something approaching. Assuming it was a panther, he decided to hide. However, as the creature drew nearer, it turned out to be something even more perplexing. The creature had a face that resembled a dog, a long snout and dark fur. What made it peculiar was its posture. It was standing on its hind legs. Lucky it seemed preoccupied and didn't notice the hiker just a few steps away. What type of creature could that be? Naturally, a dog, man, or a werewolf comes to mind. This fortunate hiker went out innocently for a walk, but for his keen observation skills, he would never have returned home. And that leaves us asking one simple question. Are we not safe hiking anymore? A young woman was out one snowy night, walking alone around the reservation when something chilling happened. Take a listen. What is that? A loud, piercing scream echoed through the area, sharp enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. The sound resonated, cutting through the cold, silent night. She was completely alone, and it had just snowed heavily, meaning most people were likely tucked away in the warmth of their homes. So she panned her camera around, trying to find the source of the scream, but there was nothing in sight, just darkness and snow-covered ground. This eerie event has left people in a frenzy, speculating about what could have caused the sound. Some believe it might be a skinwalker, others suggest it could be a banshee. So what do you think it is? Some games aren't for the faint of heart, and this footage might just prove it. Two girls decided to play a light-hearted race game involving an elevator. One of them left her phone recording inside the elevator while they both ran down the stairs trying to meet the elevator on the lower floor before it arrived. The game seemed simple enough, but what happened next was anything but ordinary. By the time the elevator reached the lower floor, the girls were still nowhere in sight. The elevator doors opened and closed again. The strange thing, there were no sounds around, no buttons being pressed. It was just the elevator moving as if it had a mind of its own. Then, things took an eerie turn. As the doors continued their strange behavior, a woman's voice could be faintly heard coming from inside the empty elevator. The words were unclear, but the presence of a voice where there should have been silence was chilling. Moments later, the two girls finally appeared. What do you think happened? Peter Kane, a hunter, has made waves online with footage of what he claims to be the severed head of a Bigfoot preserved for over 6 decades in a frozen state. In the video, Kane presents the supposed head, showcasing its features, thick hair, and distinct facial structure that seem to fit the descriptions often attributed to the legendary Bigfoot. While the existence of Bigfoot remains a debated topic, with most experts labeling it as a myth, stories like this are very intriguing. Kane's claims have divided opinions. Some believe this could be a long-awaited proof of Bigfoot's existence, while others are skeptical, citing the lack of corroborating evidence of scientific verification. What do you think?
That's a real Bigfoot. I also have a juvenile. Now, people keep saying, why does the eyeball look like it's made out of paper? Why does it look like it's flat? First of all, it was frozen for 65 years.
This unsettling sight is both fascinating and disturbing. It shows a red structure covered with hundreds of spiders crawling across its surface. Watching the video gives an undeniable feeling of discomfort, as the sheer number of arachnids is enough to make anyone's skin crawl. What's going on here? This phenomenon is likely a case of spider clustering, which can occur when spiders gather in large numbers, often in response to environmental conditions like heavy rains or flooding. In such situations, spiders leave their usual habitats to seek higher ground, leading to these creepy web-covered zones. The red structure likely served as a refuge, attracting them en masse. Let's just hope these 8-legged squatters move on soon. Our next clip takes us all the way to Russia, where we're introduced to a rather unexpected and unusual sight. Take a look.
Дети мои, смотрите, какую я скульптуру нашла.
And yes, that's an alleged real-life UFO. It's rumored to have crash-landed while the individuals who recorded the clip were exploring the area. The design, I must say, looks impressive and realistic, but, well, it does look a little too small for what I'd expect a UFO to be. I know what you're thinking. Why didn't this go viral? Well, the answer, according to the uploader, is simple. The government. The military allegedly got there a few minutes after the crash, forced them out of the site, and started censoring their posts. Given what we know about Russia, that's like getting a slap on the wrist if this is true. I'd expect a more brutal response, such as, permanently silencing them. But perhaps Russia isn't as brutal as we might think. Anyway, do you think this is real, or is someone just trying to get their 5 minutes of fame?
Дети мои, смотрите, какую я скульптуру нашла.
You guys hear that? Something out there. What the fuck? Hey, what the is that?
A group of men went out in the woods late one night to hunt. As they parked their car at the tree line and prepared to step out, they were met with an unexpected and chilling sound. From deep within the forest came a loud guttural growl, resonating through the trees. The sound was so intense that it froze them in their tracks. Rather than pressing forward, they decided to stay put, unsure of what might be out there. One of the men pulled out his phone and began recording, hoping to capture any movement or clue about the creature making the noise. While nothing was spotted, the sound itself left the men convinced that this was no ordinary animal. They believed the growl came from a Bigfoot, a warning to stay out of its territory. Could this really be a Bigfoot guarding its domain, or could it be an elusive predator native to the area? What do you think?
Hey! What the are you?
something pissed off out there.
This woman was found in the jungles of India, chained to a tree. She was discovered by a group of cowherders who heard her faint cries for help. When they reached her, she was completely emaciated, looking like she hadn't eaten or drunk water in days. The herders quickly got help and managed to free her from her chains. Later, it was discovered that she was a U.S. citizen. India doesn't have the best reputation when it comes to tourists, especially women. This case did little to help the situation and only led to an outrage. Investigations were quickly started and they led to a conclusion no one could have suspected. It turns out the woman actually did this to herself because she'd run out of money while on a tourist adventure. Her statement says otherwise, though. She stated that her own husband had done this to her. He had chained her to the tree and left her there for 40 days without food or water. While this does sound dramatic, the police insist based on evidence that that's not what happened. This did happen a few years ago, though, so what do you think? This fascinating footage showcases the Alpha Robot AI, an innovative creation by the Polish company Clone Robotics. What sets this robot apart is its remarkable design, which mimics the human body to an astonishing degree. From muscles to synthetic organs, intricately crafted from advanced fibers, the Alpha Robot is engineered to replicate human movement and functionality with eerie accuracy. In the video, the robot's fluid movements and lifelike behavior are both captivating and unsettling. Watching a machine move and act so similarly to humans is a stark reminder of how far robotics have come. Clone Robotics has announced that the Alpha Robot AI will be officially launched in 2025, promising to bring this cutting-edge technology to the forefront of human-robot interaction. In the tech world, this is a good thing, but to some of us, this is a nightmare unfolding. Robots are looking more human as the day goes by. Pair that with AI, and we could have a robot uprising on our hands very soon, but we're not ready for that conversation.
Supposedly the alien said, which I thought was interesting, was military people that had him ask, is your technology natural? It said everything is natural. Now I don't know that I believe that totally, but everything has to come from one source, right? To a certain extent, even the devil came from God, right? Is technology a natural extension of humanity?
In an intriguing interview, Tony Merkels shared his experience interacting with an alien creature. During their conversation, he claims to have inquired about the source of their advanced technology. The response, according to him, was surprising. The alien explained that their technology was entirely natural, not built or engineered as humans understand it. Merkels then elaborated on the alien's perspective, suggesting that all humanoid beings, from Bigfoot to extraterrestrial entities, originate from the same source as humans. The difference, he claims, arises because these beings took different evolutionary or developmental paths. While humans pursued a path heavily reliant on technology, these beings chose an alternative, non-technological path. This theory is both fascinating and controversial. If true, it can imply a shared cosmic ancestry for various humanoid species, with a divergence being shaped by their environments, choices, or adaptations. The idea that Bigfoot and other cryptids are humanoid beings on a separate evolutionary trajectory adds an intriguing twist to the discussion. What do you think?
Supposedly the alien said, which I thought was interesting, was military people that had him ask, is your technology natural? It said everything is natural. Now I don't know that I believe that totally, but everything has to come from one source, right? To a certain extent, even the devil came from God, right? Is technology a natural extension of humanity?
Over here, bro. Oh my god, bro.
Oh my god.
It hit over here, bro. Please, bro. It's the
behind the houses now.
A couple in Arizona was driving home late at night after an evening out when they noticed something unusual as they approached their driveway. Hovering above one of their neighbors' houses were two strange objects. The couple immediately began recording, capturing footage of the crafts. As you can see, these are not drones or helicopters. The objects are circular with lights glowing around their edges, hovering in the night sky. In the background, you can hear the couple reacting in shock and disbelief, their voices filled with awe and fear as they try to make sense of what they're seeing. What do you think these objects are? Could this really be a UFO?
Oh my god.
It hit over here by trees, bro. It's behind the houses now.
A woman from Staten Island shared this intriguing footage. In the first clip, two glowing orbs appear in the sky, each surrounded by what seems to be string-like formations that move with them. Later, she captured a second clip showing strange, colorful splashes of light hovering above a car. These colorful shapes lingered for a moment before vanishing, and then more orbs were spotted in the sky. The unusual combination of phenomenal luminous orbs, string-like formations, and floating colors has led many to believe it might be UFO-related. The orbs' movements and the otherworldly appearance of the floating colors seem to align with the kind of unexplained aerial phenomena often associated with UFO encounters. What do you think? This eerie footage shows a chilling moment captured in a hotel room where a woman was filming her daughter looking out of the window. Suddenly, the child screams in terror as a tall humanoid figure walks by the window. The figure was in black with a long, unnatural neck and appeared to glance into the room. While the video undeniably has a creepy atmosphere, it does raise some questions. The figure's exaggerated features and timing feel almost theatrical, leading to speculation that this might have been staged. The clear view of the figure and the dramatic reaction of the child seem a bit too perfect to be accidental. If it's real, the idea of something so strange peering into the room is spine-chilling, but if it's staged, it's still impressive footage. Moving back to the extraterrestrial side of things, this clip was sent to us from Boca Raton, Florida. The sender had seen it on one of the paranormal platforms and wanted our opinion on it. It's allegedly a UFO hiding in the sky that was somehow exposed. Many of those who saw it think its cloaking mechanism might have malfunctioned. While that sounds like a reason for a UFO to be exposed in the sky, Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, doesn't think it's a UFO. Shocking, I know, but according to him, this is most likely a blip. When he said that, it felt like I experienced a light bulb moment. Naturally, I went to the comments of the original post, and there's this comment that was. Turns out there was a Boca Raton Bowl the night before, and that's where the blimp which shows up every weekend was captured. So as disappointing as that might sound, we can rule this one out with certainty. A man and his neighbors had been hearing strange and bizarre sounds at night. While they'd become accustomed to hearing these sounds, it didn't sound like any animal they knew. This both frightened and intrigued them, but no one was going to risk their lives to find out what it was, until our man filming did. In the dark, he could see something move, albeit it was very dark, so he couldn't really see its full form. By some stroke of luck, he was able to take some pictures, and after working on them for a bit, they came out a tad clearer. But what he had captured was unclear. He uploaded the captures online, and many opinions came up. Some thought he'd captured a raptor, which is a small to medium-sized bipedal theropod known for its sharp claws, agility, and carnivorous nature. Some also thought it looked more like a terror bird, which is a large, flightless predatory bird from the Cenozoic era, known for its powerful beak, strong legs, and ability to chase down prey in prehistoric ecosystems. The thing with these two suggestions is that they are extinct. This hasn't, however, stopped some from thinking and believing this is the real deal.
There's a popular belief among some paranormals that dinosaurs may not be as extinct as we thought and may just be hiding within the hollow earth and resurfacing once in a while. Wild, I know, but do you have another explanation for this?
So this USB cable right here cost me over 350,000 naira. The question is why? This is just an ordinary cable that you can plug into your iPhone and it charges the phone. But this is not just an ordinary USB cable. This is actually a hacking tool.
Have you ever borrowed a phone charging cable? You might want to think twice before doing it again. A new type of USB cable has surfaced and it poses a serious security risk. This innocent-looking cable has an inbuilt memory chip and functions as a hacking tool. When you plug it into your phone to charge, your device powers up as expected, but that's not all. Unbeknownst to you, the person who gave you the cable can gain unauthorized access to your phone. They can retrieve sensitive data, passwords, and other personal information without you ever realizing it. Originally, this type of cable was reportedly used by the NSA as part of their high-level surveillance operations. However, after an internal memo was leaked, the technology made its way into the mainstream, where it can now be exploited by cybercriminals. So always be cautious about those cables you are using. Carry your own charging equipment whenever you go out to avoid falling victim to this sneaky method of hacking.
And these cables come in all forms, type A, type C, even lightning like this one. And here's the funny thing, it works on both iOS and Android seamlessly.
I'm not sure how we ended up here as a society, but yeah, this happens. A man came out to find expanding foam stuffed into his exhaust by his neighbor. The neighbor apparently had had enough of the disturbance coming from this man and decided to take things into his own hands. He basically said it, then put the foam into the pipes and left him a letter of affection. Well, it's rage, but we are in a new year, so positive thinking only. Many in the comments congratulated the neighbor for doing something they could only dream of doing. A small minority felt the neighbor had been unreasonable and unfair. What do you think? What would you have done in this situation? A man and his wife took their little daughter to the park for a lovely day out. The wife captured a photo of her husband and daughter sitting on a bench, their backs turned to the camera. When they later shared the image online to commemorate the moment, something unsettling was noticed. At the top left corner of the photo, a faint but discernible face of a woman appeared, but just her nose, eyes, and forehead, as though she were peering into the shot. According to the couple, they were alone at the time with no one else nearby. The story took a chilling turn when someone digging uncovered the park's dark history. A year prior, a young woman had been found dead in a nearby pond. When viewers compared the face in the photograph to the deceased woman's photos, the resemblance was striking. This discovery left many spooked. Could it be that the ghost of the young woman made an appearance in this family's photo?
But this is complete. This is a beautiful video. There you can see the clouds behind.
In 2007, Antonio Ursi, a man known for his UFO sightings, captured a remarkable piece of footage. The video, taken from a window on his roof, shows a UFO in the sky in stunning clarity. Ursi has reportedly seen UFOs numerous times flying over the area before, and he managed to document several of these encounters on video. His recordings gained attention for their vivid detail, sparking debates within the UFO community about their authenticity. While some believe Ursi's footage to be genuine evidence of extraterrestrial craft, others argue it could be fabricated or misinterpreted phenomenon such as drones or reflections. Nonetheless, the sharpness and consistency of his footage continue to intrigue researchers and enthusiasts alike. What's your take on Ursi's work?
This is a beautiful video, where you can see the clouds behind.
Están viendo la lucecita allá adelante. El video se ha zarpado. Es un ovni.
I know that clip may have taken you off guard and stunned you, but I doubt you're as stunned as the individuals in this clip. They all noticed this unnatural and eerie red glow in the sky and decided to take a photo. We're not told where this is, but one person uploaded it to our paranormal pages, and a debate started right away. Some were convinced it had to be UFOs, whereas others thought we were dealing with nothing but a strange yet natural phenomenon. They even suggested it might be a celestial body or planet seldom seen. I know all of this is intriguing, but which of these do you think might be the actual truth?
Están viendo la lucecita allá adelante. El video se ha zarpado. Es un ovni.
While vaccine breakthroughs are being announced globally, here's a curious story from China. An aquarium has come under fire for using fake robotic sharks in its exhibits. Tourists visiting the facility, excited to see live sea predators up close, were left disappointed when they discovered that the whale shark on display was, in fact, a robot. The revelation caused outrage among visitors, many of whom demanded refunds, feeling deceived by what they assumed would be an authentic marine life experience. This incident has drawn comparisons to the movie RoboShark, though in this case there's no cinematic action, just disappointed guests and a very lifelike machine. While such technology could be an educational tool, especially where live animals cannot be kept, transparency with visitors seems to be the lesson here. What are your thoughts on robotic replacements in aquariums? A man was driving in the dead of night when something eerie caught his attention. He passed a tricycle on the street, moving smoothly and steadily. Out of curiosity, he slowed down and glanced over as he reached the driver's side, and that's when he saw it. The tricycle was completely empty. No driver, no passengers, just an abandoned-looking vehicle cruising at a remarkable speed on its own. The sight was chilling, defying all logic. Was this the work of a ghost, or could there be some strange explanation behind it?
Möge deine Reise durch diese Welt dich mit wundervollen Augenblicken erfüllen.
When I started collecting clips for today's episode, I was open to a lot of things, but what I wasn't counting on was this, an AI-powered deity. If you were as confused as I am when I originally heard this, it's simple. There's a rendered face of Jesus powered by the power of AI that allows people to ask questions and receive responses. This has actually been installed in a Swiss church to take the confessions, and the intriguing thing is, 2/3 of those who attended to by this AI-powered God claim to have had a spiritual awakening. While I'm not here to argue over people's supernatural beliefs, Julius did mention something which I believe is worth discussing: privacy. The thing with AI is that it's learned by training on data. The likelihood of the confessions and data of the individuals who make them being stored somewhere is very high. This means it can be assessed by whoever is in charge of the whole thing. Beyond these privacy concerns, is an AI-powered God something you're willing and ready to worship and give into? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section.
Möge deine Reise durch diese Welt dich mit wundervollen Augenblicken erfüllen.
UFO sightings seem to be growing more frequent and vivid lately, and this footage adds to the mystery.
Look at the way it looks! Look! Do y'all see that?
I told you.
That's a UFO, bro.
Right.
It was captured by a group of people one stormy night. The sky was lit with flashes of lightning. The weather was heavy, and rain was just about to fall. As the lightning illuminated the dark clouds, they noticed something unusual. There was a massive, circular object partially visible in the sky. The object appeared to have the classic saucer shape often associated with UFOs. It wasn't fully visible, almost as if it were cloaked or embedded within the clouds, but the brief lightning flashes gave just enough of a glimpse to raise questions. It's hard to dismiss this as just a trick of light. The structure appeared too defined and too deliberate to be a natural phenomenon. Could this be a craft hiding in plain sight?
What is that?
UFO.
Oh shit.
You see it?
Yeah, it looks like a, oh.
What is that?
So not sure if to consider this a leak, but somehow I think it is. The picture you see on your screen was allegedly captured by an unmanned military capsule, a Russian one to be precise. Looking at this, we can right out of the bat say it's not human or anything remotely close. It looks like a fishman or simply an aquatic creature in humanoid form. When I saw this, I was about to ignore it until I saw comments from individuals in Russia who confirmed that there had been military ops around the lake they lived by. Some even mentioned that some of the soldiers involved in the op were killed by unknown creatures suspected to be aliens inside the lake. Being the civilians that they were not allowed to know anything concerning the operations, but they heard rumors. This brings us to two questions. What exactly are we looking at? Why is the government being secretive about it? Okay, let's add a third and fourth question. Did the Russians find aliens? And why did the aliens kill them? These are questions we may never have answers to, but if this image is genuine and it was actually captured during a military op with beings suspected to be aliens, then we indeed have a problem. A very big one. Sure, we've had a lot of UFO clips, but you can never have too many UFO clips, am I right? This orange light in the dark sky is one that has been circulating in the paranormal community for weeks, if not months now. Many individuals who saw it believed they were UFOs racing across our skies at night. While some debated its authenticity, someone in the community recently shared this clip linking the orange orbs to old and ancient religious paintings. Somehow, these paintings have descriptions of alien or heavenly beings in vehicles that have similar orange hues. While that's interesting, it's also got us thinking. Did the ancients see and interact with aliens? If they did, what happened? Why did it end? If they didn't, how come many religions across various continents have similar paintings of such beings or instances at some point in their history? So many questions, yet not enough answers. Do you guys have any answers or ideas, to say the least? Here's another video featuring a dinosaur being hauled out of a truck. Unlike the previous video, this creature is noticeably larger and displays a more aggressive demeanor. However, skepticism arises as people question the authenticity of the footage. Upon closer inspection, the creature's movements and anatomy raise doubts about its legitimacy. Many viewers point out the seemingly artificial quality of its legs, almost resembling a costume rather than a living being. If indeed a hoax, the creators have gone to great lengths to craft a convincing spectacle. While the video may be a cleverly orchestrated fake, it sparks contemplation about the enduring mystery surrounding dinosaurs. The fascination with these ancient creatures persists, and even a fictional representation can captivate our imagination. What are your thoughts on this elaborate dinosaur display? This image was taken by a trail camera, and it's certainly unsettling. In the shot, there's a creature sitting on the forest floor, its head bent down as if in a moment of stillness or concentration. The figure is large with broad shoulders and a hunched posture, making it look quite imposing. The person who captured the image insists that this is Bigfoot, and when you look at it closely, it does seem to match the description of these elusive creatures. Tall, bulky, covered in hair, with a posture that isn't quite human.
Skeptics argue that this is a misidentification, perhaps a person in thick clothing or an animal caught at a strange angle. But the size and shape make it harder to dismiss. Could this really be the legendary Bigfoot, or just another case of mistaken identity? Is our world the result of evolution, or was it purposely designed? Most often, scientists love to think most of the things around us evolved into being. Take this soldier turtle ant, for instance, a remarkable species known for its unique turtle-like appearance and specialized role within its colony. These ants are often called turtle ants due to their flattened disc-shaped heads which resemble a turtle's shell. This unique trait allows them to block the entrances of their nests, typically found in hollow branches or cavities, serving as living shields to protect the colony from intruders. Was this designed, or did they evolve to do this? Please share your thoughts in the comments section.
A man recently shared some truly bizarre footage he captured while walking through a wooded area. What he observed under one of the trees has left people utterly perplexed. In the video, you can see a dark figure standing under the branches of a large tree, but it's not just standing, it's watching him. Its eyes appear to glint, almost glowing, and it doesn't move, it just stands there silently creeping. When the man zooms in, you can make out what looks like a whitish face, oddly human-like, staring back at the camera. The rest of its body is completely dark from head to toe. You can't tell if it's covered in fur, shadows, or something else, but that face, that's what unsettled people. Some viewers think this could be a Bigfoot, although its smaller size and more human face have many doubting the theory. Others suggest it could be someone in a costume trying to pull off a hoax. But some believe this could be a new kind of cryptid. You've seen it, so what do you have to say? And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us, and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have.
Share this video with someone you love, and I will see you in the next one.